Hey you guys, it's Peter, and let's talk about these tweets. Okay, so I'm just gonna go in here and I'm like shaking. I'm just gonna go in and address these tweets, okay? Everybody wants to know about these tweets. Everybody's talking about it, on and on and on, and I just think that it's gonna continue until I get on here and I just completely own the tweet by tweet by tweet. I'm going to group them together. I'm not going to necessarily read every tweet. I'm not going to explain all of them away. But one of the things that has happened in the last couple days is that a lot of people have come to me, or a lot of people have said, or I've seen it said, that context does matter. And sometimes I believe that and sometimes I don't. I think sometimes disgusting words that are used just don't ever need to surface. I think that's the case with some of my tweets. I think in other cases, context does matter. And so I'm going to be explaining a little bit of both in there today. The reason I'm making this video is because I think a lot of people think I'm a total hypocrite, and maybe I am, you know? Maybe I came for all these people and I had a bunch of shit hidden, you know? I don't know, you know, like, I didn't know it was back there. I really didn't, and people are so surprised when I say that. Like, I have said in all of my videos, like, we've all put shit out there, and a lot of people are like, well, I've never put that. Okay, well, I can only speak for myself. I've put shit out there. I knew that I had put shit out there in the past that I wasn't proud of. When I was using, when I was sober, when I was 20, when I was 40, when I was 45. I've said things, you know, just in the last year that I'm not proud of, okay? That doesn't, you know, make it right that I said those things because I was a certain age or whatever, and yes, I should have known better. And I'm a hypocrite because I say one thing in one video and I act a different way. So maybe I am a hypocrite, and I feel like I've let a lot of people down. And, you know, the thing that's hardest for me, I will tell you, is not really any kind of effect that this would have on my YouTube channel or anything, but the fact that so many people that had faith in me are now questioning that faith. You know, in all of my videos, I talk about the amends process because I'm a person in recovery. And I talk in there about, like, you know, when you make an apology or when you do this, there's things you need to do. And I say, what you do is, and I even joke about it, and I say it's almost kind of like scripted, right? You go in and you say what you did, okay? You apologize for it. You take responsibility for the actions. You explain it, and then you say it won't happen again, and then you show that it won't happen again. So that's what I'm going to do in this video today because, quite frankly, I don't know what else to do. I really don't, okay? All I know is that the last couple days, the last 2 days, I haven't slept real well. I'm really fucking ashamed of myself. You know, I had this moment last night. One of the tweets is referencing something to do with my mom, and I thought, and it's actually a tweet that's been taken out of context, and I'm going to explain that one. And it's interesting because I thought to myself, you know, if my mom was here right now, what would my mom say? And I'm very, very thankful that I have some friends in my life that, you know, I've always said that a true friend will tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And, you know, my best friend, she kind of doesn't really get the YouTube thing. She doesn't really get the social media thing. She gets inappropriate statements, so we've talked about that. But, you know, I have a really good friend of mine on YouTube, and I was talking to her, and she was very direct with me, and I needed to hear it. And in the last couple hours, I've talked to 2 of my friends on YouTube, and both of them were like, just get on the video and fucking own it, okay? You did it, just own it. And that's absolutely right. I just need to own it. Because there's really nothing else that I can do. But, you know, I said to my husband yesterday, we were texting back and forth, and he said, you know, like, he was like, are you doing okay? Like, what are you doing? And I said, I'm trying to, like, figure out, like, what to say, you know, like, how to apologize best for this, because people have lost faith in me. And he was like, just be honest. That's how you live your life, you know? And I said, you know, to be honest, I'm glad it came out. Like, I really am, you know? Like, I'm tired of, like, I just feel like it's this shit of, like, you know, what is out there that I wasn't aware of, if that makes sense. You know, like, I haven't really lived that scrupulous of a life past my recovery. So did I know that I had said some really shitty things out there in the world? Absolutely. In my past, I've had a really ugly, dark sense of humor, and at times, highly disgusting and inappropriate. So I just was like, fucking get on video, Peter. They want to hear about these tweets. Talk about the tweets. And let me tell you a little bit of what happened, because I do want to explain this. And the reason I made the video the other day the way that I made it was this, okay? I made it like 6 minutes and 30 seconds because I had said in videos that we don't need you to get on and explain away all this shit, right? Just get on and own it. That was why I did that, okay? Number 2, I didn't go in and explain all the tweets because I thought, what can you really say on video that's going to change anybody's opinion, right? Like, once they read the tweet, they've already made their opinion. And the reality is that everybody out there has made an opinion on these already, you know? And the one interesting thing to me is, with the exception of like a couple people, nobody's really reached out to me and said something to me about how they felt about this. I've seen a lot of formed opinions. And, you know, when you live in a public platform like this, you guys have every right to make an opinion about me. You have every right to do that based on what I choose to put out there in the world. So, you know, I was talking to a friend of mine the other night when all this started going down, and, you know, I'm talking to her on the phone, and I was like, I don't know what to do. And she's like, you need to make a video and you need to own it. This is what you would expect somebody else to do. And I said, you're right, I do. I need to get on video. And while I was filming my video, another video was posted. So that video wasn't in response to another video. And I think anybody that knows what I follow would know that I had no clue that that person's video was going to be coming up, you know? But whatever, it doesn't really matter. And then a lot of other people are saying, you know, you didn't address this until you got caught. Well, I didn't really, honestly, know that there were this many shitty, disgusting tweets that I just didn't, you know? I'm ashamed. I'm embarrassed. It's not how I choose to live my life today, but maybe that's who I was at one point. And I need to take a look at that, you know? I need to take a look at, this is maybe who I was, or this is who I was when I was tweeting those things out. And why did I tweet those things out? And like, what can I learn from it? What do I need to go back and change? So I put out some really, really disgusting, shameful tweets into the world. If I offended you, I apologize. The reason why I don't say I'm sorry, and I say this in a lot of my videos, is because to me, I'm sorry means nothing except for forget what I just did. My dad taught me that, because when I would say I'm sorry to him in the past, he would say, you just want me to forget what you did. I'm not going to get on video and do something different because somebody wants to hear me say I'm sorry. I'm sorry means nothing to me. I take ownership and I apologize for what I did. So let's talk about what I did, okay? I'm going to go in here and I'm going to group these tweets together. I do want to say this. Any tweet with the word ghetto in it was disgusting and inappropriate and should never have been put out in the world, and I apologize for that. In any context, okay? That word should not have been used. So I'm going to go into that one. There's been a lot of questions about my political beliefs in here. This is interesting to me. I mean, you know, I think, and I don't know why, like, I'm kind of surprised at some point that this hasn't come out, but if you watch my vlogs, a lot of these tweets have even been referenced in my vlogs. I've talked about some of these things in my vlogs. You know, I think it's no secret how I feel politically about the world. So, like I said, I'm not going to go in and address each tweet with the word ghetto. They're disgusting, all of them. And I should never have tweeted them, and I apologize. Okay, so on June 13th, 2011, I retweeted, this person said, Barack Obama, the first black man in history who had to convince the world that he did kill someone. That was in reference to a month prior to that, that they had killed Osama bin Laden, and that there was a lot of political discussion about that at the time in 2011 of who found him. So that was in reference to that. I voted for President Obama. I'm not embarrassed to say that on video. I've tried to not talk much about religion or politics on my videos, but I'm not afraid to stand behind my beliefs. I went in, I voted for President Obama proudly. And then this next tweet is with, I don't want to say the word, because I don't use the word today. I don't. The N-I-G-G-A. And it was in reference to what somebody else had said. And I could go in and I could explain, I do remember the context of that and my relationship with that person. I'm not going to put that person on blast. I'm not willing to do that to somebody else. It was disgusting that I tweeted that word out. That specifically, if my mother was sitting here, she would say, I taught you better than this. And you need to own your shit. So that tweet is disgusting. And then there's other things on here that are, any use of the word hood is completely inappropriate. there's a tweet in here saying, okay, I'm going into a meeting with monkeys, call you in an hour, love. So I just actually talked about this on my vlog last week. You know, any of these tweets, you guys are going to take with it and run, or you're going to believe it, or you're not going to believe it. I'm just putting out there my truth, okay? What you do with it is up to you. I'm not trying to change your opinion about things. People want to know the context of the tweet, so I'm telling you. I actually just talked about this in a vlog about a week ago. I had a friend of mine. She and I had a common friend that every time we asked her to do something, she would always say, I'm in a meeting, I'm in a meeting, I'm in a meeting. There is a recovery saying that something like, when the carnival leaves town, the monkeys stay, meaning that there's always chaos and blah, blah, blah. It is not a racial slur. My friend, every time that we would talk about this girl and we would ask her to go do something, she would say, I'm in meetings, and then my friend would say, she's in meetings with monkeys, referencing this recovery saying, okay? So that's what it's talking about in there. I literally, about a week and a half ago, having no clue that this tweet was out there, talked about it in my vlog. The comment about, see, this is where I have to get real political, but I guess I don't have a problem with that today, obviously. The comment about abortion is completely inappropriate. I have absolutely no idea of the context whatsoever. Could I guess and tell you that I was, you know, probably having some conversation standing in a bar with somebody? Sure, I have no idea. I really don't. It was disgusting and it was inappropriate. I have been and I am and have been for quite some time a believer in pro-choice. And am not much of a believer, love me or hate me, that, you know, as a gay man, I have much of a right to tell a woman what to do with her body. So why I ever fucking tweeted that out, I have no idea. It's disgusting. Now, there were several tweets to Ann Coulter, and people were saying that I was sucking Ann Coulter's dick. I can't stand Ann Coulter. I've talked about this in my vlog as well. It's a running joke between my dad and I, because my dad used to be a fan of hers. He is no longer. And, you know, like he used to talk about, oh, Ann Coulter, the ideal. I can't stand Ann Coulter, okay? I cannot stand her at all. So there was a tweet where she tweeted, well, hold on, I'll come to it in a second because it's not on this one. It's retweeted down there. But anyway, to this one person, I said, no, it was an honest question. Wow, you're paranoid. Are you sure you're not a Democrat? It wasn't said, are you sure you're not a Democrat? Like, you're, you know, why aren't you Republican? It was like this person was coming for Democrats, okay? This is why I don't get political on social media anymore, because things are taken out of context sometimes. And then this person said, Obama, you didn't get elected president. Someone, Oprah, did that for you. And I retweeted it and said, amen. I don't think it's any mystery that I am a huge, I love Oprah. I absolutely do. I quote her all the time. I've learned a lot from her. And I do believe that Oprah had a lot to do with Obama's presidency and his election. I mean, not his presidency, but his getting elected. And I'm proud of her for that. I think that that's awesome that she has that kind of power to do something good in our world. So I don't have a problem standing behind that statement. I don't feel like that was a nasty statement. I said to somebody that it's 2010, Obama's president, you can be whatever you want to be, and then he said something about me in there, and it was actually a retweet. Oh, I just said LOL. But I do, you know, like back then, it was like, in 2010, we had the first African-American president in our country, and it was like, wow, like the possibilities are unimaginable. We may have marriage equality now. We may, you know, there are so many things that are possible that weren't possible before. And that was how I felt in 2010, was that anything's possible, you know? And then I tweeted something, the real Roseanne said, nobody dares hurt Obama's feelings, and I retweeted and said, amen. I think Roseanne and her recent actions are disgusting. I've made that very clear. I used to love her TV show. Why I ever retweeted that, I don't know. I'm baffled by it as you are. So, number 9, this is a tweet that somebody put up. While growing up, our neighbor's dog's name was Sambo. He was a black poodle. My mom called him Samuel because she thought it was racist. I'm not really sure why this tweet has come up, honestly. It's a true story. We did have a neighbor that had a black poodle whose name was Sambo. For many of you that out there might know, historically, that word is... There is a children's story named after that. My mom thought it was disgusting that they had named their dog that, and so she would refer to him as Samuel, because that was who my mom was. So I don't understand how that, I don't even know why that's sitting here on this list of things. If we had known that minibar was free, I would have eaten 24/7, and to think that stupid Mexican boy had a boyfriend, Jemus. Okay, so I said in here that I'm going to have to talk about some things that I'm not proud of, that I might have to hurt some people and things like that. My mother passed away in 2008. Prior to that, I went to Las Vegas, Nevada with a friend of mine. I had a family friend that sent us out there on this trip. I've actually talked about this at length on my vlog. While I was there, I met somebody that worked at the counter at the Bellagio. And when I met him, I talked to him and I introduced myself to him like after we first met, because I had my friend go and take him this letter and say, hey, I'd like to take you for a drink. I found him extremely attractive. And so I said to him, blah, 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 whatever. And we exchanged names like when we like first met. And his last name, I said, your last name is interesting. And he said, it's Mexican. I'm a Mexican boy. And I said, oh. And so that was how my friend and I referred to him. He was Mexican. My husband is Venezuelan. I didn't mean anything derogatory about that. I saw him the whole week that I was there. I really fell in love with this guy quickly. I was not in a great state in my head at that time. This has really nothing to do with the tweet. But when I got home, I tried to call and call and call and call him, and he wouldn't return my calls. A year later, I found out that the entire time that I had been seeing this guy in Las Vegas, that he had a boyfriend that he was living with. He asked me to not mention it again and whatever, and not contact him. And I said, I'm not a homewrecker, so hey, you know, I'm sorry. I didn't know this at the time, you know, whatever. And so I tweeted to my friend, oh, we also did not know that the minibar was free because our friend was paying for the room. And so I tweeted her, if we had only known the minibar was free, I would have eaten 24/7. And to think that stupid Mexican boy had a boyfriend, I didn't mean it derogatory. If it comes across that way, I apologize. It was just me tweeting to a friend about a situation that had happened to us. And then to this friend of mine, I had said, food stamps and pleather boots, Thug Princess forever. Okay, so I had a friend of mine that while she was in school, she was on food stamps. She told me one night, and I did not like this, that she was using food stamps to buy a new pair of leather boots because she exchanged some money from her food stamps for a friend that needed them, who paid her for it. And then she said, well, I'm a thug princess, and that was why I tweeted that. I can go in here, oh, wait. There's like 10 tweets with me using the word ghetto. Something to the effect of me calling Miss Texas while I was watching a beauty pageant a whore. Totally disgusting. I should never have done that. Ann Coulter said, if Democrats were Republicans, Chris Kalinas would be Obama's spokesperson. I said to Ann Coulter, if Democrats were Republicans, our economy would be fixed, which is what I believed at that time. I think our economy is all kinds of fucked up right now. That was not me kissing Ann Coulter's ass. But, you know, like, that was me saying to Ann Coulter, you know, like, she's saying if Republicans like Chris Quinto would be Obama's spokesperson, and I'm saying back to her, if Democrats were Republicans, our economy would be fixed. And so it was a sarcastic treatment. It was a sarcastic statement. Okay, after watching the video back, there were a few things that I left out that I need to include, and I'm trying to make this video as inclusive as possible, that I address every issue that's come up, and I want it all in one video. I will say this. There is one minor edit that I put in there because I mentioned someone's name, and I'm not dragging them into that, so I edited their name out of that. But I don't have the tweets in front of me, but as I was watching it back, I remembered several tweets that had been brought to my attention. One was several tweets using the word FAG. I have mentioned in a lot of my videos that I choose not to use that word today because I don't feel like it empowers me, because it was a word that was used against me offensively when I was growing up. There was a time that I did use that word. I'm not proud of it. And when I saw those tweets come up, I didn't really know in reference to what they were. So I don't remember the context of that word, why I used it. I'm not proud of it being out there. And I'm ashamed that I used that word. The next tweet was, and this was kind of the tweet that everything had started with, so I'm kind of surprised that I didn't have it in my string of tweets. But that was where I had said something about people that were ugly or people that stank. It was cruel, it was insensitive, it was shitty. I should never have said it. I don't know what context it was in and what reference. I have no idea whatsoever. And I apologize for that as well. And then the other tweet was something to the effect of girls that hook up with guys for money. It as well was cruel and insensitive, and I apologize for it. I have no idea the context of that as well. And that's part of the problem in going back and looking at all of these tweets is I would love to sit down there with you and say, well, this is what I meant by this and this is what I meant by that, but I can't do that. And most of them are just ugly and disgusting, and I don't know why I put them out there. But I wanted to make sure that I addressed all of the tweets that have been brought to my attention, and I want to address them all in one video. And then there was something else. There's like 5 more in here. One of the reasons why I didn't want to make this video was because no matter how many I read and I talk about, it's not going to really matter. I mean, people are going to continue to find more and more tweets or read into tweets or whatever. I can't convince you. I can't change your mind. But I'm not going to be a bullshit artist. I'm just not. So I was like, Peter, just get on video and just read the tweets and address them. You know, they are what they are. If you've lost faith in me, I apologize. I think that my videos, since I've been on YouTube the last 2 years, if they speak anything of me whatsoever on 4 different channels, I think they show that's not who I am as a person. But I can't convince you of that. And there's a lot of people out there that have said to me, I'm really disappointed in you. You know, I can't follow you anymore. There's a lot of people out there that have said, we've all fucked up, we've made mistakes, you know, and moved on. There's a lot of people that have just straight up attacked me and put words on me and labels on me. And, you know, the reality is that when you choose to live in the public forum, that's what happens, you know? I don't know what else to do. So, if there are other things that you want me to do, put it in the comment section below. I plan to only post this video today, and then I plan to, and I will also post my vlog because it's already ready to be published. And then tomorrow I'm gonna get back on here and do what I love to do, which is make videos. I'm not gonna hide because of some really disgusting bullshit that I put out there in my past. I'm just not. Whether that was 2 years ago, whether that was 6 years ago, or 7 years ago. The timing on it and my age really don't make a difference. And I'm not going to get on here and excuse it away. I'm not going to make excuses for these tweets. They were disgusting. They were ugly. They should never have been put out there in the world. If I've offended you, if I've hurt your feelings, if I've made you lose faith in me, if I've, you know, made you shocked or surprised, if I have specifically hurt any one person, you know, there's some language in there that, other language, or was something in there that I said something to somebody about a tranny. You know, that was the language that we used back then, but that's not okay. And we know better than that today. And when you know better, you do better. And that's how I try to live my life, is that when I fuck up in my life, I try to learn from it and move on. Not stay stuck in my fuck up, but learn from it and move on. I wouldn't use that word to somebody today. I just wouldn't, you know? And this is what I'm saying, like, I didn't want to make the video and get on and address each tweet, because the more I address one, then it's like, oh, there's another one, and there's another one, and somebody's going to say, well, why didn't you address this tweet, and why didn't you address this tweet? So if there's a tweet that I didn't address, it's because it wasn't brought to my attention. I asked another channel to send me every tweet that they had. They sent me every tweet they had, and I just literally just read them off straight from her text. So, you know, I apologize, you know. If you want me to say I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that, because I don't believe in those words. This is what I did. I'm ashamed of it. I'm disgusted by it. I'm trying to learn from it, and I am learning from it and trying to be a better version of myself today. And, do my best to not ever put out this kind of negativity or ugliness in the world again. I've had a lot of shit happen to me in my life, a really disgusting stuff and nasty stuff and tragedies. And I've also had a lot of self-created tragedies and stuff in my life. And I learn the most through the shit that I go through or put myself through. And on my other channel, my Peterisms channel, I say all the time, you know, I learn the most from my fuck-ups. I'm not proud of this. I'm ashamed. I'm embarrassed. But I can't just sit and stay stuck anymore. I love making videos. I'm going to continue to make videos. If you think that I'm a hypocrite, that's fine. I probably am, to some degree, you know, now that I have these out there and that I've been calling all these people out. But I'm gonna continue to do drama videos because I love making drama videos. Does it mean that it'll change my perspective on how I look at people or how I speak of drama? Absolutely. I've changed my perspective a lot since I started making videos on YouTube by things that have happened to me. And I will continue to learn and grow, I hope, because that's the only chance I have on this planet, you know, and in this life, is to continue to grow and to learn. I hope you choose to stay with me for the ride. If you've lost faith in me, maybe down the road at some point, you'll come back and check back in. I hope you will. And I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.